In his 13th season with the Celtics, and lately those seasons have been difficult owing to both back and heel injuries. He's missed the Celtics' last 8 games, and he won't be in uniform for their game later today against the Spurs. Now, yesterday, Bird sat down with our Quinn Buckner for a wide-ranging interview. And here's the first part of that conversation with Larry Bird.
Bird, a three-pointer. It's gone! Three-point field goal for Larry Bird. 106, 104. He puts them ahead by 2 with 12 seconds to go.
Bird is hurt. Bird is down, and he's hurt.
You hurt your back. How does that feel right now?
Well, it's feeling a lot better. I mean, it's like night and day. You know, once I get leg pain, it's just it's a different life. It's a different person in this body, and it's hard for me to function when that happens. And that's what I was getting when I sit out last time.
When do you think you're going to be ready to play again?
It's hard to say. You know, they're really being cautious with it right now. I don't know. I mean, they haven't told me it's going to be next week or the next week. I haven't even asked them. They asked for my symptoms, and they want to see me go through some exercises, and they want to see me get out there and bump and bang around before I come back and see how it's going to react. But they're very optimistic that I'll be back soon, and when I do come back, I'll be pain-free.
That's a little different take on things than you've had in the past. You've got such a high pain threshold, and one of your attributes has become a bit of a problem. And that's because with that threshold, you don't necessarily tell people when you're hurt, and you're going to start doing that.
Well, it was a problem this time because I thought that it would pass eventually. But when I hurt my back in practice one day, I could tell something was wrong, but it took really 2 weeks for it really to set in. Then I quit telling them. I said, hey, I got some pain here, and I think it's just muscle pain. And they rub it out, and it feel better. But once it got to the point where it says, I'm not going no more, and I had to sit out. I mean, there's no way I could have played another game. And once I got the injection and I could sit out for a week, I feel 100% better. But still, there's something in there that needs to heal, and it's going to take some time.
You still get the same enjoyment out of playing as you did when you first came in the league?
I do when I'm pretty healthy. This year was probably the best rookie camp I had, our training camp, because of the fact I was pain-free, I was moving well, I was feeling good. I knew I had to work on my game, my shooting, and work on my passing because I missed all summer. I never got to play all summer. So I was really enjoying it. And I was going along fine, and all of a sudden I took a couple falls and got banged around a little bit and tried to play through some pain, and it all caught up with me. It's not fun when I'm sitting here now, but it is fun when you're out there and you're playing pain-free. It don't matter how old you are. If you love to do something and you love to work out and you love to play basketball, it really doesn't matter what your age are or how old you are.
What was your reaction when you heard that Magic Johnson had tested positive for the HIV virus?
Well, I was like everybody else. I was shocked. I was hurt. I was concerned. It's not something that I couldn't deal with for an hour and say, oh, well, that's life. We got to go on. It really took me probably 10 to 14 days to really let it sink in and get it out. And I think it helped me when I watched him on TV and watched him talk about it, because it made everybody else feel at ease. And he said, hey, I have it, and I'm going to deal with it accordingly.
Tell me about what you think about what Magic has done for the league.
Well, I think it was great for the league that he went on the West Coast and I went on the East Coast, because you get 2 guys on opposite coast and playing well and taking their teams to the finals year after year after year and playing against each other has got to do nothing but to raise the morale of the league and get interest for the people, the viewers that's watching. And that's what we did. I think it gave the NBA an identity that they never had before. And once we got there, and the younger players come from college to professional, you get the David Robinson, Michael Jordan, which hadn't hurt us at all, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. Them guys took it from there, and they're doing an excellent job. Michael Jordan, you couldn't ask for a greater individual come in your league at the time that he did, because he took this league to another level. And he not only does a great job for us here in the United States, he does it all around the world.
With Magic Johnson, they're going to retire his jersey when the Celtics play out there. Did you feel special when you understood it to be that Magic requested that happened when you were out there?
Well, you feel honored about everything. You know, really, me and Magic came in this league, and we competed in college. and we competed throughout the league. But there's a sort of a type of friendship there. If we live next door to each other, or if we live down the block from each other, if I grew up in Lansing, Maine, I believe that we would have been best friends. We've been inseparable because we have the same values. We love basketball. He don't love it no more than I do. And, you know, I really believe that when we accomplish something, we're always thinking about the other guy. And when he retires, that'll be a sad day, but it'll be a very proud day for me because I know my time's coming too.
How much longer do you think you're going to play?
Well, Quinn, you know, me and you are probably the only ones that really talked about in depth, but it's really hard for me to say right now, but I'm going to sit down this year and after summer's over in September and find out where I stand. If I knew this was going to happen, I don't think there's no way I would have came back this year because I just can't keep doing this. But if this heals up and my doctors tell me that it's going to be all right, and I make it through this year fine and go to the Olympics and make it through that and feel good, I'll keep playing. But if I have another episode, it's time to sit down and really question whether it's worth playing or not. I'm going to miss it, and I love to play, and I want to play for 2 more years. But whether I'm able to do that or not, I don't know.
Quinn, you've personally had quite a basketball education from an interesting variety of perspectives. Undefeated team for Knight, Olympic gold medal participant, against Johnson & Jordan in the NBA, and a teammate of Bird's when he was at his peak in the mid-'80s in Boston. So your appreciation for him is from your own perspective. Tell us about it.
I'll tell you, Bob, it was so much fun to play with this guy. First of all, you get yourself involved in a game, and you would get caught looking at him as he performed, and it was strictly a performance. So from that perspective, I really enjoyed playing with him, and this guy had so much feel for the game that he passed it on to his teammates, and I do feel privileged to have played with him.
So that thing which we sometimes think of as a cliche, that the great player is not just a tremendous performer himself, but that he makes those around him better, applies here.
I think it's the epitome of that statement, and when you talk about Larry Bird, he absolutely makes everybody around him much better.
What do you think he does when he quits, whenever that comes?
Well, he has some business associates back in Indiana that he's going to get back and work with those people. He's done very well for himself, and money is not a driving force.